Most advice about building wealth assumes you already have money. Invest early. Max your accounts. Buy property. None of that helps if your checking account is at $200 and you're carrying a credit card balance. So this is the version that starts where you actually are, at zero or below it. Here's what the path actually looks like. Someone earning $60,000, with $8,000 in credit card debt and nothing saved, freeing up $700 a month. Their net worth is negative for the first 14 months. Then it crosses zero. Then, 30 years later, it's around $724,000. Notice the shape. Almost nothing happens for years, and then it bends upward hard. Most people quit during the flat part. The single most valuable thing in this video is not any individual tactic. It's the order. Doing the right things in the wrong sequence is what costs people years. So here is the roadmap, and then we'll walk through each step. Step 1. $1,000 in cash before anything else. This is not your real emergency fund. It's a buffer that stops one flat tire from putting you back on the credit card. Without it, every setback undoes your progress, and you never escape the cycle. Put it somewhere boring and slightly inconvenient. A separate high-yield savings account, not your checking account, not invested. Step 2, and this one runs in parallel with everything else. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute enough to get all of it. Right now, a typical match is 50 cents on the dollar up to 6% of your pay. That is a 50% return before the money is invested in anything. It beats paying down a 24% credit card, which is why it jumps the queue. Everything else in this roadmap is sequential. This step is not. Step 3. Destroy high-interest debt. Here's why this comes before investing. A credit card at 24% is costing you 24%, guaranteed. The stock market's long-run average is around 7 to 10%, and it isn't guaranteed. Paying off that card is the highest risk-free return available to you anywhere. It's not even close. And the numbers on this are brutal. $8,000 on a card at 24%. Pay $200 a month, and you're in debt for 82 months. Nearly 7 years. You pay $8,255 in interest. You pay for the balance twice. Pay $600 a month instead, and it's gone in 16 months, with $1,400 in interest. Same debt, same rate. The only thing that changed is how aggressively you attacked it. Two methods get argued about endlessly. The Avalanche pays the highest interest rate first, which is mathematically optimal. The snowball pays the smallest balance first, which gives you a win early and keeps you going. Here's the honest answer nobody gives you. On a typical debt load, the difference between them is often small. In the example I ran, Avalanche saved about $179 over the whole payoff. Pick the one you'll actually finish. The method matters far less than the amount you throw at it. Step 4. Now build the real emergency fund. The standard advice is 3 to 6 months of expenses, and the right number depends on your situation. If you're a dual-income household in a stable field, 3 months is defensible. Single income, or a volatile industry, lean towards 6. Self-employed or commission-based, closer to 12. And this is expenses, not income. What it costs to keep your life running. Rent, food, utilities, insurance, minimum payments. Where it lives matters. This money's job is to be there on the worst day of your year, not to grow. Put it in a high-yield savings account or a money market fund, where it earns something and you can reach it in a day. Do not invest your emergency fund in stocks. The moment you need it is disproportionately likely to be a moment when the market is also down. That's how job losses and recessions work. Step 5. Now you invest. And the good news is this part is simpler than the internet makes it sound. You are not picking stocks. You are buying the whole market through low-cost index funds and then leaving them alone. A total market index fund gives you thousands of companies in one holding for an expense ratio often under 0.1%. The evidence here is not subtle. Over long periods, most actively managed funds fail to beat their index after fees. But which account you invest inside changes the outcome enormously. Same $500 a month. Same investment. 30 years. In a regular taxable account, with tax dragging on dividends and rebalancing, you land near $614,000. In a tax-advantaged account, around $732,000. And in a tax-advantaged account with an employer match, roughly $915,000. Nothing about the investment changed, only the wrapper around it. So the order inside Step 5 is, first the 401k up to the match, which you already did back in Step 2. Then an IRA, where you get a wide choice of low-cost funds. Then back to the 401k up to the annual limit. And only after all of that, a regular taxable brokerage account. For 2026, the 401k limit is $24,500 and the IRA limit is $7,500. That's tax efficiency, and it's worth pausing on because it's the least exciting and most underrated lever in this entire video. You don't control the market's returns. You do control how much of them you hand to the IRS. 3 levers. 1. Use tax-advantaged accounts first. 2. Hold your investments long-term, because gains held over a year are taxed at lower rates than short-term ones. 3. Don't trade constantly, because every sale in a taxable account is a taxable event. Step 6. Real estate. And I want to be careful here because this is where a lot of advice gets irresponsible. Property can build real wealth. It also concentrates a very large amount of money into one illiquid asset in one geographic location, usually with leverage attached. That's a genuinely different risk profile from an index fund, not just a different flavor. A few realities that get skipped. Your own home is not really an investment in the way people mean. It's a place to live that may appreciate, and it comes with property tax, insurance, maintenance, and closing costs that eat much of the gain if you move within a few years. Rental property is a business, not passive income. Vacancies, repairs, tenants, and management are real work. And if you can't cover a surprise roof replacement without going into debt, you're not ready for it. If you want property exposure without any of that, REIT funds exist and can sit inside your ordinary index portfolio. Now let's talk about why any of this works. Compounding is slow, and then it's sudden. $500 a month at 7%. After 5 years, you have about $36,000, and you contributed 30 of it. Growth has barely shown up. After 20 years, $260,000, of which 140 is growth. After 40 years, $1.3 million, and over $1 million of that is growth you never contributed. The clearest way to see it is by milestone. At $500 a month, your first $100,000 takes about 11 years. Your second takes 6. The third, 4. The fifth $100,000 arrives in under 3 years. Same contribution the entire time. The acceleration isn't you working harder. It's the money doing progressively more of the work. This is why the first stretch is the hardest and why quitting during it is so costly. So what does a realistic timeline look like? Roughly, months 1 and 2, the starter fund and the employer match. Years 1 through 3, high interest debt gone. Years 2 through 4, the full emergency fund built. Years 3 through 10, consistent investing and your first 100,000. Years 10 through 20, momentum, where growth starts outpacing contributions. Beyond that, optionality. Not a lottery win. A decade of unglamorous consistency. The mistakes that derail this. Investing while carrying 24% debt. Skipping the emergency fund and funding the next crisis with a credit card. Waiting to start until you can invest some impressive amount. When $100 a month started now beats $500 started in 5 years. Trying to pick stocks or time the market instead of buying the whole thing. Buying property before the foundation is built. And lifestyle inflation, which is the quiet one. Every raise absorbed into spending is a permanent tax on your future. Here's the whole thing in one breath. Get $1,000 in cash. Take the employer match. Kill the high-interest debt. Build 3 to 6 months of expenses. Invest in low-cost index funds inside tax-advantaged accounts, automatically, every month. Consider property much later, if it fits your life. Then be patient for a decade, which is the part nobody wants to hear. None of this is clever. It's a sequence you can start this week, from zero. I've put the full roadmap into a checklist you can download in the description.